Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday evening. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Extel Mbaacha. I am the founder of the Immigrant Mom, and this is the Immigrant Mom Show. I feel like I haven't been on here in a very, very long time, but there's so much that has been happening behind the scenes with the Immigrant Mom. And, we've been busy, more to come. We had the brunch, the DFW brunch. You've seen the pictures. If you haven't, they're on our page. We had a great time. Well, today we have such an interesting conversation, an interesting topic that we're going to be talking about today. So let's give it a few minutes and share on your timeline. We're talking today about the Superwoman Syndrome. And so every woman needs to be on here. You do not have to be an immigrant mom. You do not even have to be a mom. You just need to know that, there's something like a Superwoman Syndrome, and we'll get more into details. So go ahead and share. Let's give it a few minutes for people to join, and we'll get started.
Receive my praise today.
And once you join, let me know where you're joining from. Say hi.
What was meant to bring shame, you turned it. King standing tall, you white beast, you change it for your glory. Hey, for you have made it all for me. You have made it all for me.
Hi, D. Thank you for joining. Let me go ahead and share. Hi, Omoti. Watching from Dublin. I know it's late. Thank you for joining. Hi, Ma Mercy from Oklahoma. Thank you for joining.
Walking up from my good, no matter the matter, turn it around. Singing my song of praise to the open doors.
Let me know where you're watching from. Say hi so I can acknowledge you. You know the drill. Hi, Claudette. Thank you so much for joining from Kentucky. Thank you. Go ahead and share, guys. Let more people join us so we can get started.
King of glory, I bless you. With my life, I bless you. Lord of Lords, forever and ever. If my only hope is your name, then it's certain that there'll be no shame. Not forever and ever. You remain.
Hi, Momielo from Dallas. Thank you so much for joining. All right, guys, we have to get started because we do have a packed panel today and we have so much to cover. So hopefully more people will join us as we go. Don't forget to share. Hi, Mona. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. Go ahead and share so many more people can join us. The Superwoman Syndrome is more common than we know. And strange enough, not many people are talking about this subject because Superwoman almost is branded like what every woman or every girl will want to be. But there is a breaking point and there is a line. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So share so someone whom you know may benefit from a conversation like this could join us and benefit. If today is your first time joining us here on this platform, this is the Immigrant Mom Show. The Immigrant Mom Show is a show hosted by the Immigrant Mom organization. What is the Immigrant Mom about? It is a community based organization of women who are raising children in a country or a culture that they did not grow up in. So, like me, for example, I'm originally from Cameroon. I have two kids, raising them in the US. When I came to America as an adult, and so I need this support, this organization where I could ask questions pertaining to a childhood I did not experience in America. Our mission is to equip, to empower, and to educate the mom who is raising her child, like I said, in a culture or in a country she did not grow up in. We have a Facebook group called the Immigrant Mom Mothering in a Foreign Land. And it's important for you to join this community because we share a lot of things. You can ask your questions when we have events, we put that out there. You can share your story because you have a story where someone else can learn from the experiences that you have had, and you can mentor somebody else who is probably going through a stage that you have already been through. So check it out if you haven't. So for today, I'll go right straight into inviting our panelists so we can get talking. And please, if you have a question, this is the great time. You can put your questions in the chat box, and our panelists will respond once we get to the question and answer section. So I'm just going to put all of them on the screen. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm so excited and so thrilled because I know that you have something, powerful and tremendous that you will share with our audience today. And I'm super duper excited. Cannot wait to delve into it. The anticipation is high. We've shared on and on about the Superwoman Syndrome, and you have people saying, what on earth is it? I thought Superwoman was a good thing. How do you attach syndrome to something that should be good? And we'll talk more about it. But before we do, I would love for you to introduce yourself. I'd love for you to, tell the audience who you are, a little more about you, and we'll start with you, C.
Oh, okay. Me. See. Okay.
Yes.
So my name is Saloti Telahon. I am a wife, a mother of two beautiful daughters. Um, I'm also the firstborn in a family of four. I'm an immigrant. I immigrated in the U.S. in 2005. So basically, the whole single life, married life, and mother, being a mother, I experienced it in this country. And I'm a program manager in the healthcare industry. I'm also a professional life coach. I practice Christian and secular life coaching. I'm mostly focused on, specifically reaching immigrant moms that are trying to literally live in a foreign country, trying to balance their family spirituality and also their profession. So that's it for me, and I'm happy that I joined this community.
Awesome. Well, I could definitely connect with you from your introduction. You forgot to mention the country you immigrated from.
Ethiopia, so it's in East Africa. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would
Awesome.
know.
We're glad to have you here. All right, Dr. Bumi, you're next up.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Bumi Akikube. I'm calling in today from Atlanta, Georgia. Great to be here with everyone. I'm so super excited. Let's see. I'm a daughter, sister, wife, wife of 17 years, mom of
Wow.
three. Mom of three. I migrated to the US in 2005, just like C, from Nigeria. Currently, I'm a physician by training in public health practice. At the moment, I work at the CDC. I'm also a lieutenant in the US Public Health Service, which is not too common, but it is one of the uniformed services, just like the Navy, Army, and all of them, Air Force. Let's see, what else? So I sing in my church choir, and I happen to be the assistant choir director. I also serve as the vice president of the women's group in church. I'm a certified lifestyle and career coach, helping women and empowering them to embrace their uniqueness and live boldly at work and at life. Yeah, so I think that about sums up various aspects of my life. I like to put it all there, especially today because we're talking about the Superwoman, and I'm sure when we get more into the conversation, we'll see how these various roles intertwine. Thank you.
Glad to have you here. Thank you so much, Dr. Bumi. Linda, we would go next.
Hi, everybody. I am Linda Array, and I would say, depending on what day you meet me, I'm different stuff. You just got to meet me on certain days, right? But just to sum it all up, I am the founder of a nonprofit organization called Women in Leadership Development and Empowerment. And we really are women that do life together. So, and I said we consume wild. We're a group of women that we live in community to help each other grow personally and professionally by consuming each other's products and services, and also utilizing our skills and talents to improve communities. We do a lot of medical missions in African countries, particularly Cameroon, Nigeria, and Kenya and Guinea-Conakry. And here in the United States, we do philanthropic work in the healthcare industry, and we host a lot of workshops and conferences that target women. So our conferences are mainly about the total wellness and then the business aspect of life. We focus on four different pillars: mental wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, and financial literacy. And it's so important that we put financial literacy at the end, because a lot of times we think success is defined by how wealthy we are. But I believe success is about the whole woman concept. So it's so important that as women, we are sane mentally. If we have our mental wellness intact, we can then go in and have those boardroom meetings and make, we're performing at our maximum capital. So aside from the charity, we have a membership-based organization of women that do just what the charity does at a more deeper level. And I'm also a nonprofit consultant by trade. I help nonprofit consultants do nonprofit the right way. I sell your nonprofit as a business. So my goal is to help struggling nonprofits, especially Black and African nonprofits in the United States, show them how to run profitable nonprofit businesses, because the Black community have this mindset that nonprofit is a charity. So you have a lot of nonprofit founders that are self-funding their nonprofits, and that's not the way we do it. Your nonprofit is a business. If you're not making money in your nonprofit, then you have a hobby. So my goal is to teach you how to find the money in nonprofits. So your goal is to go out there and create impact by helping those communities. And when I'm not in 6-inch heels, I am also a captain in the United States Air Force. I'm a medical service corps officer by trade. And so I am a mother of two. I have the most active toddlers. I have a 5 and a 4-year-old. That thing, they run my world. And family to me is my number one ministry. When you get pulled in so many directions, family is what centers me, because no matter what I go out there and do, they are the reason that I do all of that. It's my husband, it's my kids, and I'm very big about family and faith.
Right. Well, we're glad to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, my very own friend Obot, my neighbor. Like, she lives just down the street from me. Hi, Obot.
Hi, Excel. Hi, everyone. And thank you for having me here. I'm actually excited to be part of this panel. So my name is Obot Akintunde. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a mom of 2 girls, a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old. I've been married for 6 years. I came down here right after I got married in 2015. Professionally, I'm a lawyer. back home from Nigeria. I have a master's of law from the UK, and I was called to the bar over 12 years ago. But coming down to America, I had to start all over, put myself back to school while I was having my kids at the same time trying to raise them. So
Mhm.
just basic. I'm a Christian, strong one at that. I believe in God. I believe in faith. I believe in building a community for immigrants like us right now. So
Right.
I'm really excited to be here, and I'm thankful for Excel for dragging me here today.
It was a little drag because this girl was telling me, no, I cannot be. I'm like, no, you have so much to share. Well, let's get into it. We're talking about Superwoman. Before we really get into the meat of the discussion, I'd like for everybody in a few seconds, say 30 seconds, define what Superwoman is to you. For me, I'm thinking about a woman who has it all. In my mind, when I think of Superwoman, it's this woman in heels in the boardroom. She's killing it at work, at home. She's in control, like nothing phases her. She knows what buttons to press and things get done. And when she wants to relax, she can relax. Like she has everything put together. It's different for everybody. Who is a superwoman to you? Oh, but let's start with you since you just.
Okay. So, I mean, you've said it all. A superwoman to me is like a glue that holds it together.
Mm,
That's it. I'm that glue that puts my home together. Like Linda mentioned, I'm very family oriented. I don't play with my family. So my life is like literally centered around my family. So, it's just that what's the strongest form of glue? That glue, I think is bond or
Super
something.
glue.
The strongest form of glue, I think akagum. Nigerians will say akagum. That glue that
Gorilla
puts it
glue.
together. Gorilla glue,
It is
yes.
gorilla glue, yeah.
So for me, that's a superwoman, the woman that is
Okay.
able to put it together, no
Mm.
matter the cost, at all costs, no matter whatever it is.
Linda, who will you say a superwoman is to you? Like your own definition, internalized of this woman who has it all, who is super.
I think I started looking at Superwoman a different way, right? Because by nature, as women, we're nurturing, we're the caregivers, we're the caretakers of the home. And everybody naturally thinks Superwoman is the woman that is putting it all together, right? And we're not wrong by thinking that. But as I evolve in my own journey, I'm taking on the narrative that a superwoman, we're only as strong in our ability to be soft.
Mm.
So I find my superheroism and my superwomanhood, if that's even a word, in the ability when I can be vulnerable, when I can say I need help, when I can say that, you know what, I can't do this. That's when I feel most strong because normally we cover it all up. We make sure everybody's taken care of. And
Hmm.
so the days that I feel I'm a superwoman are the days that I feel soft, not
Mm.
necessarily the days that, and okay with it, not necessarily the days that I'm on the go and making sure the kids are taken care of, husband is taken care of, office is running well, not those days, because that's the norm.
Right.
The
And that's a different.
extraordinary are those, yes. So the extraordinary is the days that I say, you know what, don't call me, don't text me for nothing. Because right now, those are the moments that I feel I'm a superwoman, when I'm laying on my couch and doing nothing.
Wow. Isn't that interesting? Because for the longest time, and even what the media portrays, Superwoman cannot be the one that's doing nothing. It's almost like she has to have 8 hands and 8 feet and doing everything. And so we're really shifting perspective today, listening to all these definitions of what her evolved self is. She said what she thought of Superwoman and what she now believes is different. I think there are going to be people who would have that epiphany today. And that's why I'm so glad about this conversation. See, what's your definition? Tell me, like, maybe before you evolved and after you evolved of Superwoman.
I think for me, when you're, even the word, right, it says super women. So it's all positive, right? Super, and a woman that's super, a woman that's superb. She has everything under control. She can balance her life. Even, when you look at her physically and mentally, she's balanced, right? Her kids are good, and her husband is happy. The house is full, and she's under control. Life is fresh, good. Um, but I guess as I evolve and as I mature and as I learn about the Superwoman Syndrome, I think a superwoman, to me, is a woman that thinks she has things under control, through all the ups and downs, um, that has a hard time saying no to a lot of requests that come her way, um, that basically does things without assessing her capability, right? So kind of slowing down and just understanding yourself, asking questions and saying, "Oh, am I actually capable to do this?" before you say yes, right? So that superwoman doesn't really say that because she doesn't have time, right? Her life is not structured. Um, and so for me, a superwoman is one that usually works for others and not necessarily spends time and saying, "Hey, are you okay?" So
Right. Right.
that's
Thanks for
for me.
sharing
That's
that. Yeah. Dr. Bumi, what's your definition before evolving, or say it's the same? What's your definition, the description of a superwoman?
Yeah, so I think the society has really played a big role in defining what the superwoman is. And when we think of the movie Wonder Woman, doing all those stunts and everything, and even as women of faith, many of us hear about the Proverbs 31 women, and it gets us so intimidated, like, how can one woman do all this? But,
Right.
with time, we've been able to understand and evolve that. You can still be a superwoman and define it in your own terms. And I believe that's what we'll be talking about tonight. And for me, a superwoman is a woman who is true to herself. You can define who you are, what you are, and what you want to be, both for your individual life, for your family, and for the various spheres of life in which you have influence and impact. So, a
Right.
superwoman is someone who is true to herself and can also focus on the priority that is most important at every point in time. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. Let's look at a definition that's shared by someone that's watching the audience. And I encourage everybody to put in what you think. What is your definition of superwoman? So we can look at it. Sylvie here says, superwoman to me is a woman who knows what she wants, goes after it unapologetic about her ambitions, yet is not afraid to be vulnerable. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I encourage everybody to put in their definition so we could all have a conversation. Now, I'll ask each of you questions and that you can take time to chime in, with your opinion. But I just want to sample through your own personal experiences and your nuggets of wisdom that you'd have for people watching today. Oh, but my first question will be to you. And it is, what was your attempt at trying to be a superwoman, and what was your breaking point? You said that superwoman is like gorilla glue. So at what point did you try to be gorilla glue in your family and realized you are really just Obot and not gorilla glue? What was your breaking point?
So, I had my first daughter while I was at school, and I relocated down from Arkansas to Dallas. And then I was pregnant. So I had both kids in the space of 15 months. I was back to back, right? And of course, having two little toddlers under 3, still trying to go to school and work. I mean, I think that was I didn't realize it then. I mean, I was still being a mom, just heavily invested in my kids and in my family. I wake up super early, go to work in Dallas, that long hour drive for we that live in Texas. And, when I'm done from work by 4, I head to school. I attend my evening classes. And I get home like maybe 8:45 or 9 p.m. The kids are home from school. They refuse to eat because mom is not home.
Hmm.
They haven't had a shower. So I'm literally dropping my bags and just jumping up. I'm like, it's past 9. You have to go to bed early, get them ready, give them something to eat, put them to bed. When I'm done, it's 10 o'clock. I'm too exhausted to even eat. I have schoolwork. I jump on that and I go to bed like past midnight. And that was like the routine. And then one day my aunt called and she was like, why do you look so sick? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I haven't gone to the doctor. I'm good. And she's like, no, you look really sick. I said, no, I'm okay. It didn't hit me that even my physical appearance was draining, because I was trying to do it all. The weekends, I would not rest. I'm still cooking or doing groceries. And then, my friends started looking at me like, you've lost so much weight. Are you really sick? I dropped like 40 pounds plus. Like it just went
Wow.
like that. It was drastic. And I realized that, wait, can I really do it all? No break? I mean, there has to be a way, right? And so gradually I started making friends, and I had friends that would share, just share their life with me. Oh, I'm sleeping in today. My husband is doing this. Oh, that. I'm like, oh, okay, really? Oh, that's possible? So I went to my husband and I said, hey, babe, I think I'm really tired. I don't think I'm a strong woman. Right now, I'm tired. Can you help me with this? So it was just like a gradual thing. Oh, it's
Right.
the weekend. Can you give the kids a bath? Can I just lock myself indoors and just sleep for 2 hours and just take a nap? Can I just go out on my own? Can you watch the kids? Let me just go like on a day outing to myself. And that's how I started to break free and realize that, hey, I can still have my family together, but I have to
Right.
delegate,
Oh, yes.
separate, delegate those duties out. It's okay to let my husband know that I'm weak. It doesn't mean I'm a weak mom, no, but I'm just a human being. I'm tired. I can't
Right.
do it all. So for
Right.
me, that was the break. That was like the eye opener.
Oh,
And
wow.
ever since then, girl, I'm resting. I'm not even, I'm not even trying to do it all anymore because I've learned that I had to gradually initiate my husband into the whole process.
Right.
Gradually. So now it's like a norm for him. So there are things that he just willingly does without me having to scream or yell. It was a process. But I'm there now. So I don't even stress. No, I'm
I
not
mean,
going to stress anymore.
when I
Mm-mm.
hear your story, a million questions are just coming at me like, fireworks. But, I hear you talk about delegating. Sometimes we're tired just because
Yeah.
we have come with a mentality that being a superwoman is doing it all, right?
Yes.
Like we have to take care of the kids, we have to do this, we have to clean, we have to do that. And that is coming either from a societal, like coming back from home, where,
Mhm.
back home, like Africa, where you have that expectation there's that expectation for a woman,
Yes.
and say if she doesn't clean, if she doesn't cook, she's not a good woman. But let me ask and throw this, and anybody can answer on the panel. What happens when the spouse is not compliant and thinks, well, my mom did everything that you should be doing and does not give you that rest that you need, or allow you, or take on responsibilities at home to allow you rest? What would you say to a woman who is in a situation like that? And any of you can answer.
Okay, I'll
Linda,
go
I see
first.
you
Oh,
thinking.
First, I mean, I will tell that woman communication, I think, is very essential in any relationship. I think it cannot be overemphasized, right? You don't go, I mean, there's how you communicate with your partner about certain things that they actually, understand where you're coming from. So if any woman is in this position, I would say try to find a way to communicate with your partner. Just be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Right,
Vulnerability doesn't mean that you're weak. It's just you communicating your needs,
right.
not by you going to yell, or try to, talk him down or nag him about it, but just be vulnerable and just communicate. It's a
And
long process.
that
Yeah,
ties in with
everybody.
what Linda said, that be
Yeah,
vulnerable. When you're weak, you feel like that's when you're strong. That really, I see
yeah,
how that ties
exactly.
in.
It
Right.
does a lot. It does. And you don't have to, I mean, being vulnerable, yes, that's good, and you don't have to compare. Don't do
Mm.
that. Don't you dare compare, because everybody is different.
Yeah.
The way my husband will react is not the way your husband is going to react. We
Mm-hmm.
need to understand that first. And then gradually, it will take time, but it will ease in. In my case, it can be a month. In your case, it may be 3, 4 months. But it's just about starting that process and letting your partner know, hey, I
Right.
need help, no matter how little. No matter
Right.
how little, it saves you some time to just breathe.
Right. Linda, you said you evolved. You talked about evolving. You had a definition, you evolved. My question to you is, what is one thing that you know now that allows you to be that vulnerable, soft woman that you now see as super, that you wish you had known many years ago?
I would say that when I'm in my home, this is my secret place. I am not CEO. I am wife and mom. And it is so important that when I walk through these doors, I am ready to allow my husband to be a husband and take care of me. So I've been in business I opened my first business I was 19. I've always had this, I felt empowered being this independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, my first 2 years of marriage, I had a communication issue because I struggled with being vulnerable. I struggled with just being a wife. Like I have a husband that he's the husband. He's the head of my household. And I just needed to understand that in this home, I'm the manager, but he's the head. Because we women, we know how to manage stuff. We can, we are naturally gifted with that. So just to answer your question, it was me understanding my role. That Ephesians 5, Ephesians 5:22, 33 talks about the order of marriage in a home,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and not to deviate a little bit, a lot of women really struggle about, and we're probably going to have another conversation about this word submission.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is submission? Well, I'm a 21st century wife. I don't submit. But I'm saying if we look at the order of marriage, marriage is a ministry. It's not just a title, it's a ministry. It's a biblically ordered ministry. If we look at that order, it talks about the man loving his wife like Christ loved the church, such that as a man wouldn't want any blemish on his body, he would not want any blemish on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about a woman submitting to her husband, right? But a lot of people, we talk about Proverbs 31 wives and talk about submission. We forgot everything that happens before submission. A man submitting to God, the man loving his wife as much as he loves his own flesh, and so it's a whole order that
Mm-hmm.
I had to understand my role. And when you have a husband that is submitting to God, a husband that's loving you like Christ loved the church, why would you have a problem submitting to him? So I had to work on knowing that I am not the CEO of my home. I am the manager. My husband is in charge because he is first submitted to God. And with that, it's about safety. Women need safety. I need to understand that if I were to close my eyes and just put my feet up, I'm going to wake up, the kids would have taken their bath, we would have dinner, the house would be clean. Because if I were to put my feet up and I wake up, kids are looking crazy, house is looking crazy and stuff, like I feel safe to be vulnerable with my husband because I know that he got it. I am comfortable that he got it. I don't need to be the one to do everything. I am safe with him. I am safe in his presence because I know my house will still be in order. So,
Right.
in order to get to that place, I had to understand that I had to put up this independent woman status, the superwoman status, the CEO status, and just be the wife and mother in my home. With that, I'm letting my husband be who he is destined, who he is ordained to be. And I can trust that he got it. I
Right.
can go to bed and know that he got it. And I
Right.
think that is a missing piece. A lot of women that struggle with just being vulnerable with their spouse, they're missing that trust or that sense of peace that he got it. But I
Right.
think we as women, we need to take that leap and give our partners that chance to take care of us, take care of
Right.
things. They got it.
And there are
Because
women who
they're
are
their kids too. It's their kids too. So they got it. Even the kids, they got it. It's not you didn't have those children by yourself. They got it. So
Let
it's
me
okay.
let me chip in there. You're absolutely correct, Linda. Like 100%. The part where you say we need to let our husbands, trust them that they got it. Most women do struggle with that, and I was one of those people.
Mm,
And you see, it takes talking about things like this outside for us to learn and educate ourselves more. And it took
right.
my friend trying to convince me it's okay. He has it, he will take care of the kids. And one time we went on a 2 days girls trip. We both left our kids and our husbands and we traveled. I was freaking out so bad. She said, "Don't worry, there is kids. I promise you. He has it under control." And he did. I
Mm.
took a break and I came back. I'm okay. The house is not burnt. You guys are good. Okay. Okay.
Now, this
Okay.
is a perfect scenario. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Well, that's figurative speech. Hey, I'm going to play that part, but I want to throw the question to either Bumi or C on what happens when the man doesn't have it. He is actually the problem. He's the first child, or even where there are no children, like the man does not understand. His expectation is that you be superwoman. Or let's say there's no man. We have women who are single moms. We have women who are divorced, but then they are under the weight of putting everything together. To what extent can they go in delegating what you can delegate to your husband? And any of you can answer that question. What advice would you give?
Yeah, sure. And like the previous panelists have spoken, communication is key, and each home is going to be different. Your husband is going to be different from my husband. There's some husbands that are highly domesticated. In fact, they do way more than the wives. Like, I know some of them cooking, cleaning. The wife doesn't even have to bother about it. And there's some that are on the other extreme. But one thing I learned is to always choose joy. And that joy is my joy and my peace. So, what joy, what peace do I want to see in my house, whether as a married woman, as a single woman, as a divorcee or something? Because every time we get so agitated and worked up, at the end of the day, it's affecting our mental health. We're getting burnt out, we're getting depressed, we're not being who we're supposed to be. So choosing that point of joy and peace and knowing that, okay, this is what I want, and then looking at what you have. And if what you have doesn't match up with what you want, then looking for other means of reaching that point of joy. And those other means, for some of it, it might be for you ordering groceries, or instead of going to do the groceries yourself, getting someone to clean your house, instead of always doing it yourself. Um, Things like going on Task Rabbit or something. Sometimes we have new furniture and you want to set it up right away, and the husband is like, I don't care about furniture, or or that furniture is gonna wait there till 3 months time before I get to it. Finding that place where you can find your joy and maintain the peace in your house by looking for help in some areas that will not cause conflict is what has helped me in my day-to-day life. And life is about seasons. There might be some seasons when you just have to cope with some things some way. There's seasons when things get better. Maybe you're earning more, your kids are grown up, then getting that help and getting to delegate those duties will be easier. So just understanding the season you're in and finding your true self and being content with who you are, what you have to find your joy. Like Obot said, not comparing with everyone else, because we see it all on social media. We see it all in our day-to-day life. Everybody looks happy and gorgeous, like we're looking so fabulous here tonight. But we all know that sometimes it's very much different behind those curtains.
That's right. That's right. Something I'd like us to talk about, which I just want to introduce here, is the aspect of fear and how fear could make a woman take on more than she can handle because she believes that if she doesn't, the world, her world, will fall apart. Let us think of Superwoman and Superman. Superman was that individual who went all around saving. Like if there was a problem, he was there. He put out fires everywhere across the neighborhood. If he wasn't there, the world was crashing. And so a woman might feel like if she has to take on so much and without boundaries. So let me share my screen and have C talk about what boundary setting is for her. Let me know if you can see it big enough. So here are some boundary setting sentences. Someone posted this on Facebook today, and I thought this was really amazing. Women sometimes are under so much pressure, that Superwoman Syndrome, because they cannot as little as say no from the bottom, or no thank you, or I wish I could, but I can't. For you, C, what do you think from your personal experience about setting boundaries was an issue with you getting that rest, not being that superwoman and putting out fires everywhere?
Yeah, I think for me, it's basically, I think perfection, to perfection, right? Wanting to have perfection in life, and being, I think Linda said it, not trusting other people to actually take care of either your household or any chores that you have in the household is a big problem for me. It was a big problem, right? So I felt like I had to do it all, right, in order for things to be balanced in life. But that was not the case, right? If I, as Linda said, if you marry someone, your husband should be the greatest cheerleader. He should be your supporter. He's there, through ups and downs. He committed to you through Christ. So why can't you trust that person? That's the questions that I've asked myself. And it took me almost like 5 years to actually be able to let go and say, you know what, there are certain things I'm not able to do. There are certain things that I can't achieve. My kids, uh, just like I have qualities in me, my husband also has qualities. And if my husband can't do the things that he's supposed to do, there are other resources, other family members, friends that I can reach out to, and they can help me with that. Just having that kind of change of mindset, I guess, is very important for any women, especially moms, because I think with being a mother, you comes also being wanting to be perfect, right? Because you want to be the perfect mom for your children. You want everything, all the best for your children. So that if you really are not careful with what you're doing and you don't do things in a structured way, then you kind of fall into this superwoman syndrome type of journey. And it's a very difficult journey to kind of come out of.
Right. Very true. And Linda, what would you say are the signs of when a person starts, because it's a very fine line, when you are living the best version of yourself and slowly realizing that you are really not the best version of yourself. You're becoming an overworked, overwhelmed, tired woman who is trying to do everything, sometimes to keep up with the appearance that you have it together. When will you say a woman should start taking note that she is crossing that line from being a best version of herself to being something else?
So I'll say this, right? A couple of things. Burnout is actually now one of the ICD-10. It's classified as a disease, burnout. So the average woman works on average 95 hours a week. A full-time job is what, 40 hours? So Welch, the fruit juice Welch, they did a study 2 years ago about the workload. And average woman works 90 to 95 hours a week. When we accumulate what she puts at her actual job and the work that she does at home, is approximately 90 hours a week. That is 2.5 jobs that an average woman does. And how many women really sit down and try to accumulate their 24-hour schedule? If you do that and you try to figure out how much time you've actually spent not working, whether it's the 9 to 5 you went to, or cooking, or taking care of the family and stuff like that, how many hours of your 24 hours were you really just steal, apart from the hours that you spent sleeping? So those are things that I really want to challenge every woman that is on this call to do. Map out your 24 hours. How many hours did you really spend doing you? Not working, not cooking, not taking care of the kids, not at work, not trying to clean the house. How many hours can you really quantify and say, this is the amount of time that I have in a day? Because if at the end of the day, you do your 24 hours and you don't have any time, that was just your time to zen, your time for you, then you're a burnout. Because you don't have any time in your 24 hours that you just sat down and said, this is my time. Whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's an hour, whether it's 2 hours, do you have a you time in every 24 hours? If you don't, then you are outstretching your 24 hours. You need to factor that in and be intentional about it. Because we talk a lot about self-care, right? I'm doing self-care maybe once a week, or you go do your nails and you like self-care. Self-care starts from here. It's not about how fancy our nails look or that massage we just went and did. Is how are you feeling right here? If you're out there doing your nails and you're thinking about dinner and laundry and that work you have to finish, it's not self-care. All you're doing is polishing your nails. You're not having self-care. When you're doing self-care, you need to be present where you are. You need to be able to fully engulf your surrounding and just be present where you are. Whether you're doing that massage and thinking about something else, you are not doing self-care. You are just having somebody rub their hands all over your body. It is not self-care. So those are some questions you should be asking yourself. Am I truly practicing self-care, or am I just doing some acts of beauty? Because if all you're doing is getting your hair done, getting your nails done, but not present, you are not doing self-care. Sis, you're a burnout. If you cannot silence your brain for 30 minutes and just think about you, play some good music, and just, it's about me, this is my time, you are burnout. So those are some things to start thinking about. I tell you, like, be intentional, even if it means pinch yourself, right? If you see yourself getting your nails and you're thinking about dinner, maybe pinch yourself and say, please, just focus on this massage I'm getting right now, and do your nails. And then
this is
some
practical.
you know what, just sleeping. You know, you fall asleep on times when you're not supposed to fall asleep. You pass out on the couch, or you pass out here. You are tired. Your body's telling you that you need rest. So it's little signs. One thing I want to encourage everybody to do is actually really make your 24 hours work for you. So time is like kinetic energy. We cannot make time. We cannot destroy time. My clock right now is saying we've been on this call for 50 minutes. There is nothing none of us on this call can do to take this back to 30 minutes. This 50 minutes is gone. We can't do anything about it. So we also need to change our mindset and narrative about time management to task management. We don't manage time. I cannot pause the clock. I can't tell the clock to do anything other than what it would do. 24 hours will keep rolling, but I can control how I place different tasks on my calendar on my 24 hours. So you don't have to use my formula. You can create yours. But there are some basic things that I make sure I do every day. You know, whether it's 2 hours of self-care, 5 hours of family, 8 hours of sleep. People say sleep is for suckers. I say you're a sucker if you're not sleeping enough.
That's
If
right.
you can create time to sleep, why not sleep? This hustle mentality and this struggling mentality is so outdated. You don't have to be struggling in order to make it, whether it's entrepreneurship or whatever. You can rest. It's okay. It's okay. And then
Right.
whether you're working 9 hours or 10 hours, if you say it's 9 hours of work, work 9 hours, close that computer and be present with your family. Be
That's
present.
so important that you share that. Be present. We have to, there's nothing we can do about time. Like, and when you say it's almost like a wake up call for even myself who is on here. And I know for a lot of our audience that we need to prioritize. You have to advocate for yourself. Oh, but you look like you have something to say on this topic. I know you're ready to pour it out. What can you chime into what Linda just shared?
Sorry, I'm totally with her on that. Like you said, self care is not just about you going out for a few hours, to do one or two things by yourself. It's just you just being there, just lying down, doing nothing. That can be my self care. I just want to breathe. So I prioritize. This weekend, I'm not cooking. I'm not doing this. This has to be done before this day. So when I wake up and the kids are playing, I'm just laying down, my bottle of wine, I'm just chilling. You know, if you have to send the kids to bed early, I know I need that right now, Linda. If you have to send your kids to bed early, you make bedtime early. You have 2, 3 hours to yourself before you eventually go to bed. You can try that too. That two,
Right.
3 hours is you and your husband catching up, or just you catching up on something. But it's just you on your bed, in your
Right.
space, just
Right.
resting. So that's what I was just going to add to that.
Right. And we have to be, the best advocates. Nobody can come into your life, into your home, and advocate for you, for your rest, for your peace, for your sanity. You would have to take that cape off and say, Superwoman is me being happy, me being restful or rested, me being, my best self mentally. What way or what advice would you give C for someone and how to tell them to be a better advocate for their mental health?
So I think, especially for someone that's considered a superwoman, right, who has having a superwoman syndrome, I think the first step that I did for myself is recognizing, like, awareness, right? Being aware that I am one, admitting it is the first step. At least for me, that's how it worked. Because when you're aware that there's something that you're doing that's working for a lot of other people, but it's not working for you, then you're recognizing that it's affecting you somehow, physically or mentally. After that, then you go into solutions, right? Um, and your solutions, not you can consult with others, um, to come up with solutions, to guide you to find solutions. But the only solution that you can get is from you, right? You have to literally dissect the past, the current life that you have right now. You know, like, just like Linda said, you have 24 hours within a day, right? So within that 24-hour, what do I do? Like, if you're if you're working, you have 8 hours of work. After that, when I come back, do I commute? You have to be very detailed in your life. When you're very detailed in your life and how you pass your one day, and basically assess it, and try to dissect it, you really see, the small details that you could basically, decision points that you could really hit on and make changes that, into your life. So basically, for me, the first thing I did is I planned every Sunday night. I plan for my next week, from Monday till Saturday. What do I do, right? And my Monday, timeline is like from 6 a.m. I wake up at 6 a.m. From 6 to like 8:30. What is it that I can and cannot do? What bandwidth that do I have, right? What is what's my free time within the week? Where could I put self care in there? For me, every morning, the first thing that I do is pray, right? I'm a Christian, I pray. And prayer gives me energy. Prayer gives me positivity. Prayer gives me a way to look at the world in a very positive way. So that's my pump, that's my gas. So, if that works for you, I recommend that. And then just planning. There's a lot of where we live in a very technologically advanced era. So there's a whole lot of templates about how you plan your day and how about self-care and so forth. You can use that. I created my own because for every person, for every mom, her life is customized. Your life is different, my life is different. So when you're planning, you have to plan it in your own way. And then I think one of the other things that really helped me is I I planned my day or my week on my own, and then afterwards I consult with my husband. Where this, my Wednesday kind of looks like packed. So, can you fill in to pick up the kids for me so that I can go exercise? And depending on how you ask them, husbands are very supportive, I think, especially if you know their communication language. And for me, it took a whole lot to understand my husband's communication language, his love language, and so forth. So it takes a whole lot of effort, but I think they're your best cheerleader. That's the reason why you
Right.
married them. And
Right.
so, working with your husband and then planning I think, is was most effective for me.
Linda, you are right that 60 minutes is too short a time for us to go over however much we have to talk about on the Superwoman. But I'll give everybody, starting with Dr. Bumi, 30 seconds to leave your parting words of wisdom for those who are watching, for those who might be either recovering from the syndrome, currently undergoing, burnout. Just take 30 seconds each of you, starting with Dr. Bumi, to drop some wisdom.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for the wonderful time tonight. So, in wrapping up, I'll just say listen to your body, listen to yourself as a woman. You can't be me, I can't be Excel, but I can be myself. So, listen to your body, know when your body is telling you you're at that. Don't even wait till you get to that breaking point. I saw an emoji this week where, the gas tank is going to red. Don't wait until it's at red. When you're past the green and get into yellow or orange, it's time to take a pause, because if you wait till red, it will be too late. So be intentional about setting boundaries for yourself. Know what you're saying yes to. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So choose your choices and be intentional about setting those boundaries. And finally, I'll say rest. Rest, rest, rest. Someone like me, I'm in a work which deals with a lot of shifting priorities, and my days can be super crazy and everything, but I know when to take my leave. And once I'm out of leave, nobody is calling me. I'm turning off my phone and I'm having that time to recover and rest, because if I die, the work will continue tomorrow. So know when to take that rest, schedule it as part of your daily schedules, your monthly schedule, your quarterly schedules, and be intentional about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have less than a minute. Let's see if we can go through parting words of wisdom in under a minute, Obo.
Okay. I mean, Dr. Bumi has said it all, and I'm just gonna say, it's okay to breathe. Really, just breathe. It's okay for your house to be dirty, in a mess. Just lay down, look at it, just breathe. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't make you less of a strong woman that you are.
Oh,
You're just
yes.
taking time because you're human. It's okay.
Thank you. That's powerful. Linda.
So, a couple of things. No is a complete sentence. Because a lot of times when you say no, you feel the need to explain yourself why you can't attend the baby shower or why. No is a complete sentence. So sometimes it just got to be no. Okay. If you're in a relationship, you have a husband, try incorporate a joint calendar. That helps a lot. If you plan your events, drop it on the calendar. So Husband knows what's going on. You guys sync and talk about your calendar. You talked about single moms, that not everybody is married, that's a mother. I really encourage you. Every woman needs a tribe. Find your tribe. Statistics shows that 95% of women don't have 5 women that they can call in times of need. And I think that is so sad. So if you are a single mother, even if you are married, it's good to have a tribe. Find your tribe. And finding your tribe is not about just sitting and saying, oh, I need a group of girlfriends to go out with and find. You got to be intentional about actually cultivating relationships. So go out there, make friends, okay? You don't scare people. Go out there, cultivate relationships. Maybe invite your neighbor out to lunch. Find ways to really intentionally work those relationships, like you're courting other women, and find your tribe. And really, as I said earlier, be accountable for your 24 hours. Find the areas that you're aimlessly browsing Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Because sometimes, I promise you, people get on that thing 30 minutes, they just scrolling through people's pages and not being productive. Not saying it's a good thing. Find areas that you're creating waste in terms of your time, and look at the areas where you are lacking, and try to create that balance by taking full control of how you spend your 24 hours.
Awesome. Thank you. Celote.
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, as a mom, for moms that are in a relationship with their husbands that have kids, I think we owe it to our children, to our husbands and to our family to take care of ourselves. Because, as Linda said, we are the manager of the house, right? And if we are not happy and we are not, sane, then the house is not going to be good. So then I think we owe it to our family and our children and our husband to take care of ourselves. Please, I just want to say that, we have to remember that self-care is really not a luxury. It's actually important. It's mandatory for survival. So let's just have some kind of I guess the definition of self-care should
Mhm.
it should be somewhat changed. I think
Right.
self-care should be done continuously. It should be planned. It should be it should be on a daily basis. We should have at least, I don't know, it can be 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever time we have. We should be able to do it for the
Right.
sake of everybody around us and ourselves as well. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Like, I enjoyed this discussion, and just wrapping it up and sharing with the audience to know that you come first. That's why on the plane they say put on your mask before you put on even for your child, because you cannot save anybody if you are not first saved. And that's something we must remember. Everybody here on the panel has shared powerfully. Be in tune with your body. Know when you need to say no, I need to rest. You have to advocate. Don't wait for someone to hand rest to you. Don't overwork yourself and expect a husband to see and then grant you rest. Be at the forefront of this war for your rest. It is so important, because at the end of the day, if you are not there, life will still continue. Things will still get done, but you need to put yourself first and advocate for yourself. Well, thank you all so much. Let's do thumbs up and hearts for our panelists. We thank you guys for joining us. People here are saying thank you so much, ladies. This has been wonderful. Jennifer here says no, it's a complete sentence. Yes, Linda. So all the comments are here, and I know that our audience appreciates everything that you shared. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And thank you, those who are watching on the side, for being with us for this full hour, even though we went over by 5 minutes. Until next 2 Thursdays, or maybe even more, the way the Immigrant Mom Show works is we look for those quality conversations before we come on. So, the schedule has been a little different lately, but hopefully we might be back next 2 Thursdays or 3 Thursdays, however long. But hope you stay blessed and keep shining and have a great weekend. Thank you.